Welcome, 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 trivalent beings of spirit, mind, and body. Time for the Ask Doc Alkebulanese Solution Show, sponsored by Prometheus Reborn Universal Foundation, also known as Proof. Its mission is to spread the trivalent understanding noetics, featuring stand-up philosophy that includes anthropology, psychology, biology, metaphysics, medicine, psychodrama, comedy, and music through a genre called edutainment, educating while entertaining, coined by KRS-One. The host of this wonderful show is Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods, RN, MD, MED-D1, and myself, co-host, Dr. Hamida Rockman Woods, MED, PhD, MED-D2. All right, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is. I have a PH.
I have an M.
We both have D's. That makes us Doc Squared. The title of the day's show is The Tools of the Trade.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about the tools. But before we do that, the Hip Hope Trio Plus. We were just talking about it before the show came on. We're maybe going to be at Sam Silk over on Libby this Saturday, next Saturday, the 29th. That's the spot.
That's not Sam Silk.
That's
spot.
Karamu. No, That is the spot because Tony Saez, the CEO of Karamu, will be coming to Sam Silk to see us perform.
Okay.
And if he likes it, we will be doing some performances at Karamu all the time.
Yes.
That's going to be what we're doing.
Imagine that for us, you all.
Yes, please. Visualize it.
That's why we put the images up for you to use your imagination.
Yesterday, we had the best rehearsal we've had in a long time. We killed. My wife was hot.
So much meta.
Okay. But I must inform you that we have a totally new show than the show we planned because we had planned to give you the rest of vector augmentation.
Right.
On somebody who has never had vector augmentation. Now, the problem is everybody I know has had vector augmentation, except maybe one. And they were not able to come today. So they will come next week and do for you and me. But today we're going to go through rest of our tools, the tools of the trivalent understanding noetics. But before we do that, I got to say one thing that I heard this week that kind of stimulated me very, very deeply.
Can we move on before you do that? Go on
Yes.
to the reminder.
Please do the reminder.
Month. All right, let's go to Nguzu Saba. Actually, the next one this month.
That's it!
All right. Nguzu Saba is the 7 principles of Kwanzaa created by Dr. Malana Nkaranga and what Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods, RN, MD, MED-D1 has done is put it in an order that is more equitable
and effective.
So we're in March, as you all already know. We started on the first Tuesday, and we're on Umoja. That's where he put it. He put it as third, which is unity. And in Swahili is Umoja. In Twi is Nkabon.
Nkabon.
Yes. So what we like to do for you to join us in practicing the Kwanzaa principles in a more effective order each month. If we only do this once a month, if we only do this annually, we would never observe what it is we're supposed to learn from the principles.
Can we get that slide back up just for a second? Purpose, faith, unity. These are the diamond principles, the triangular principles, the pyramidal principles. First, you have to understand what your purpose is. Then you have to put faith into that purpose. And through that purpose and faith, you now have a basis for unity. Putting them in any other order disassembles that.
Mm-hmm.
Okie doke. Now,
I say.
okay, now I'm going to quote someone I've never heard of, Kristen Christopher. This was somebody who texted in to the Don Lemon Live podcast. And Kristen said something that stimulated me, made me think, and made me take a whole new look at what line 44.5 is doing to our government. I never say the man's name because he's not a whole person. He says that. He's not a whole person. He sure can't be a whole president, so he can't be the 45th president. He's line 44.5. And Kristen Christopher on the Don Lemon Live podcast said that he is tanking the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
Your 401k goes to hell because of that. Mm-hmm. So that his rich friends can buy low and sell high. The stock market. All this BS with economics he really does not understand is simply to drop all the prices of all the stocks. And they have gone just that way in the last 7 to 10 days. They are lower than they have been at any time this year and going lower. Everybody who knows anything about stocks will tell you that the key, the secret, buy low, sell high. And there is no lower on high-tech stocks than what line 44.5 is engineering right now. He does not really understand that, but he knows it instinctively. The moves that he is making with our government is also having some other effects. The largest Canadian province, Ontario, is placing a 25% tariff on all the electricity it sends to the United States. Now, Ontario's got a whole bunch of dams and rivers and stuff up there that's producing a lot of electricity, and mainly the northern states like Minnesota, North Dakota, Oregon, and Washington State are buying electricity from Canada. They're being charged 25% more since line 44.5 has put these tariffs on Canada and Mexico. But Canada's not the only person pumping up tariffs and placing bounties on things they sell to the United States. Many other nations are considering the same, which will end up with poor people being destitute and only the rich surviving. Imagine that. Okay. Unfortunately, this is the place we are right now.
I sure.
This is the nation that we have helped to create. And as a result, without any education, he has scrapped the Department of Education. Without any understanding, he doesn't give a damn about any human being having understanding. We're kind of lost in this world, but this is the world we live in. Come on, Hip Hop Trio Plus got a song just about that. Peep this out. Listen up.
This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This way, giving paths to follow, not based on you. It's all kind of hollow. Your own understanding is best for your being. It's all about knowing. It's all about seeing that you. God sees the best. You believe it's all in your hands. Don't be deceived.
Well, I got a few questions, cause I really can get them. What would you do if you really knew you? We're on a mission.
Teaching you to listen,
Make images of what you hear.
Listening's a spirit
not buying,
It hears it, forgot what I feel.
not near.
to the power of you release.
This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. You can
You transcend this reality with your spirit. You transcend this reality by using the imaging properties of your spirit and using your spirit, mind, and body trivalently. All on you. Now, New Image for a New Nation was an article. Welcome to Live.
Oh, the
Track
twins,
God.
Random Brothers Vid.
Yeah,
Back
there
to
I am.
you. Peace.
That's the Maggie.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We are
For
so
joining
happy.
us. Yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about y'all later.
Man, to the house.
New Image for a New Nation. Article I wrote for African American Lifestyle magazine many years ago. And it talked about transcending this reality, though its discussion was actually about health.
Imagine that.
We have no definition, no accurate definition, no precise definition for health. And a physician from UCLA School of Medicine made the observation in the American Public Health Association magazine. I responded, New Image for a New Health, and told them, wait a minute, in order to be healthy, your spirit, mind, and body must be functioning cohesively. In order to be healthy, you should have optimal functioning of your trivalency. And unfortunately, pink people have absolutely no interest in putting your spirit in any relationship to your health. And that is probably one of the most stupid things I've ever heard of. Without a healthy spirit, it doesn't matter what your body and mind are doing. You're going to be jacked up. Now, you're going to be jacked up primarily because of the images that are going to be stimulating your mind to think. The images your mind thinks on pretty much dictates your living. Morgan Freeman, one of the greatest actors Hollywood has ever produced,
Yes.
came up with a little thing that I saw on an interview with him. And he said, fear
Adase.
is visualizing the worst thing that can happen in any situation. Faith is visualizing the best thing happening in any situation. Fear makes you fearful, and it puts you in a position of disabling emotions. Fear does that, has a tendency to paralyze your mind. And you keep going over the same fear-invoking images. Faith, Morgan said, is just the opposite. Faith is visualizing the best that could happen. And those images are exactly what we utilize in all of the trivalent understanding noetics tools. We told you last week about vector augmentation, slide
Imagine
number
that.
4.
Yes.
Vector augmentation is a way, as it states, to increase energy, improve circulation, totally and completely eliminates fatigue, slows down the aging process, enhanced sense of well-being, no drugs, exercise, or diets. And it all happens in 133 seconds. We talked to you about it last week. We're going to demonstrate it next week. Part of that talk about last week was our exposition of the difference between knowing and understanding.
Imagine that.
That's slide number 5. Knowing is emotional spiritual, which means you feel an emotion about what you know. And it's often confused with understanding that is intellectual. Knowing happens in a part of your brain called the limbic system. And understanding happens in the precentral gyrus, or right on the surface of your brain, on the left side, generally. Understanding involves thinking. Knowing involves emotions, a feeling. Why is this important? Because most people are not going to do what they understand. Most people are going to do what they know. And if you ask anybody why they did anything, they will tell you, well, I felt, and they will tell you about the way they felt, or I had a feeling, and they'll tell you about that feeling. Those are things they know. Very rarely do they say, I was thinking about, nah. No. Okay, on to the tools of the trivalent understanding noetics. The first tool that you get is called the affirmations of the wounded soul.
So we'd like for you to go to slide 8 for that. Skip over the other slides and go to slide 8.
Okay.
Slide 8. Slide 8. Not yet. Not yet. It's the preamble.
Right before that.
That's all right.
Hey.
8. Number 8. It should be number 8.
Okay,
The
that's
one-
it. That's right.
It didn't come up.
It
That's
didn't
what
come
happened.
up.
Madase.
Okay, no problem. No problem, because I got it right here. I got all of that right here. Okay. The affirmations of the wounded soul are...
And you can take that down until he's finished with the
No, you can leave it right there, because we're going to slide right
Alrighty.
into that. Affirmations of the wounded soul fights images of evil, hate, guilt / shame, fear. Fear gives rise to envy, greed, jealousy, feeling of lack, pain, or death. People fear all of those things. But the worst fear of all is actually fear of fear itself. Now, we also have a really twisted image of what love is. We always have a consideration of love with sex. No. Love is appreciation and respect, and finding yourself as a part of something or someone.
Okay, Micah, go to slide 1. I think that's slide 2 that you have up. That's the third one, the first one. Right. That's it.
Okay. Now, let me go first through the affirmation preamble. Every time there's a class, we start every class with this preamble. And it goes, I will live in the light, warmed by truth and embraced by grace. I will remain a defender of the symbols of life. I will eliminate evil. Evil is the shadow of lies that seeks to block the illumination of the human spirit. Evil cannot grow in my life unless it is cultivated by hate, watered by the clouds of guilt and shame, and fertilized by the fetid, foul fruits of fear, such as envy, greed, jealousy, fear of lack, fear of pain, fear of death, or the worst fear of all, fear of fear itself. As I eliminate fear, guilt, shame, and hate, the light of my spirit will grow brighter and brighter, unconsciously giving permission for all around me to do the same. Ashe. Now, all those words are meant to represent affirmations of the emotional spiritual axis of all people. They are particularly helpful to those individuals who have psychic scarring or emotionally based behavior problems, since they attack many of the root causes of such difficulty. All of the affirmations are three-dimensional in that they are composed of the words, the emotions, and the forms or images. The words of the affirmation are pretty self-explanatory. The emotions are those feeling states and emotional sites one must practice to bring full effectiveness to words. You have to not say them, you have to feel them. Again, this is knowing. The forms are those pictures and images that allows a fuller expression of the spirit's ability to bring into the mind images that can hold the essence of concepts that are expressions of emotions or beliefs. For example, what is a picture of faith? What's a picture of courage look like? Or hate? Each of these words give rise to images or pictures that can convey the emotion. These images are personal and vary from person to person, but their power to stimulate minds is undeniable. Finally, I shall write the affirmations with instructions for specific uses of image and emotional states in parentheses. They should be used twice a day, before bed and before meditation. Good thoughts, good images, and may the Lord bless you and the ancestors protect you.
Ashe.
Okay. This is the first affirmation. That first affirmation was the affirmation against hate. And unfortunately, pink people try to use this on everything. Line 44.5 is trying to use hate on Muslims, Jews, Alkebulanese, women, children or young adults. He's trying to turn old pink people into hating all of these groups. This is what an authoritarian does. He tells you, I'm the only one that can protect you from these very, very fear-invoking things.
And they're using Fox as a way to program these people.
That's why Fox had to pay about $1 billion for the lies that it was telling to back up these fears. But the affirmation for hate goes, I will eliminate hate. Hate is the fire that consumes my humanity.
Imagine that.
Okay, back to the slide. Right. Hate is the fire that consumes my humanity, and the humanity of anyone I direct my hate at. When you hate someone, you take away their humanity. Hate is the twisted lens that distorts all reality. I will eliminate hate. I will quench the fires of hate with the cooling waters of filial love. Filial love is brotherly love. It's also the love between sisters, between aunts and nieces, between uncles and nephews. Feel the love and affection you have for your family members, especially ones that are closest to you. That is filial love. Have you ever hated your brother? Have you ever hated your sister? Or any of your relatives? I mean, hate them. Now, they'll piss you off and make you angry and stuff, but it never turns into hate, does it? Why? Filial love allows me to know that I can abhor an image. It's on the slide that I was just reading. Filial love allows me to know that I can love a being and yet despise and abhor his thoughts, images, and actions. To correct the one popular song by the Hollies, he is heavy, but he's still my brother. Filial love is a love that allows that love to flow when one realizes they are joined to another by a permanent, unbreakable bond to a larger, stronger, and more important group. That group can be family, a gang, actually, a formal organization, a nation, a culture, a race, a sexual identity, a species, or an expression of life itself. Filial love allows me to know that all life is related to me. Again, this is knowing, this is emotional. Filial love allows me to understand that I can think about, that I am related to all life. That is the affirmation against hate. Saying that affirmation and feeling and visualizing those images puts a damper to hate and stops you from going in that direction when people want you to. The next one is one that is really, really big for Alkebulanese. It's really, really big for pink people too, because this is the major thing that they use to control serfs.
Slide 2.
Slide 2. I will eliminate guilt and shame. Oh yeah. Guilt is me telling me that I ought to feel like I've done a wrong thing. Okay, let's go to Einstein. Albert Einstein came up with 3 different forms. No, it wasn't Einstein. It was.
Are you talking about the psychologist Freud?
Yeah, Freud. I'm talking about, Freud. Freud came up with 3 different aspects for mind: conscious, unconscious, and ego or id. Me telling me is like my super ego conscious, super ego, and ego. That's what Freud said. I'm conscious, unconscious. No, he didn't say anything about the unconscious. He said your conscious mind, your ego, and your super ego. Id, ego, and super ego. Okay, me telling me is like my super ego telling my ego. Your ego is a part of you that makes you think it's you. So guilt is me, that's your super ego, telling me, your ego, that I ought to feel like I've done a wrong thing. Shame is me, again, super ego, telling me, ego, that I ought to feel like I am a wrong thing. And unfortunately, since childhood, I have been taught all the wrong things I am. I have been taught that I'm wrong because I am Alkebulanese. I've been told that I'm wrong because I'm male. I have been told that I'm wrong because I am intelligent. I have been told that I am wrong in so many different aspects. And unfortunately, many of our youth have this to go through. Guilt and shame are the twin shackles that bind my psychic energy. They decrease my available willpower and prevent manifestation of my spiritual gifts. Who am I to be great? Who am I to manifest these spiritual gifts? Guilt and shame make you feel like that. And it stops you from even thinking about being more than you are. I will eliminate the effects of guilt and shame. I can loose the manacles of guilt and shame with the twin keys of faith and grace. To use these keys, I must understand and accept them. I must also use the keys first on myself, then on everyone I meet. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen, Hebrews 11:1. But it is also the evidence of things hoped for and the substance of things unseen. Imagine all concepts such as love, courage, fear, and other formless things. They are also made real by the faith we place in the concept. All things we hope for are brought to reality by that same faith and visualization of the things that you are wishing for. Visualizing is a powerful, powerful tool that once you have understood how to use it, you can make anything that you imagine reality. Again, this is the world that we live in. You can choose to transcend it. All the things we hope for are brought to reality by the same faith. I accept that much of my seen world is controlled by my faith in unseen things. Okie dokie. Let's move on to talk about grace. Grace is defined, again, as the slide shows,
Third slide.
as unmerited favor. All of your living is built on the unmerited favor
The next one is I will eliminate fear.
as a child of God. All things defined as good or bad are put in my life as a result of that grace. I may not understand them, but I accept them as necessary events that makes me, me. Imagine things that you felt at the time were negative that turned out to be pivotal points in shaping your personality and experiences.
Okay.
Faith, unmerited favor. We didn't do anything to be born. That was just through grace. We didn't do anything to get the life that we're living. Again, that's just through grace. You can't do anything to screw it up. Anything that you do that messes it up,
Greetings, David.
that's what
From
you
Ghana.
choose. David Apia Owusu. Ha ha.
Yeah.
Hate is a disease, yes, and it is spread by word of mouth and actions. Again, that's what line 44.5 and all of these MAGA folks are spreading. And they are very, very bold about telling you they're spreading it. Mm-hmm. They tell you who not to like. They tell you who to kick out the country. Mm-hmm. They tell you who not to let in the country. Why? Why do they feel this way about these groups? Mm-hmm. That's what they're trying to get you to feel. I will eliminate fear. This is the last thing.
Okay, now the next slide, correct?
Next slide. I will eliminate fear because fear is the mind crusher. It is la petite mort, that's French for the little death, that brings on oblivion. Imagine how the functioning parts of your mind seem dead when you're in great fear. A great amount of fear will be able to stop you from thinking. It'll be able to stop you from remembering. It'll be able to stop you from organizing. It'll be able to stop you from doing anything that your mind normally does. Fear paralyzes the mind. Again, la petite mort, the little death. It's like your mind is dead. Fear paralyzes the mind and separates it from the soul and body. Recall how your mind seems not to work and you can only seem to visualize that thing that you fear or the results of that fear. Your body does not respond to your mind when the mind is in great fear. Oh, I wish I could run. Oh, I want to run. Oh, but my body ain't obeying me because I'm too scared. Fear assassinates reason and throws wisdom and courage into the abyss. Reason, courage, and wisdom are eliminated by the emotion of fear. We need to get rid of all of this excess fear that pink people are trying to force on the American population. I will eliminate fear by practicing the habits of agape love. Agape is that selfless, unconditional love that is God's greatest gift to mankind, even though it is more abundant in womb mankind. Again, 4 different types of love. Filial, which we talked about. Agape, which we're about to go through. Romantic love. And the love of a father. It's called paternus. We're going to be giving you some insights into all of these things. But agape is the love of a mother for their offspring. Imagine a mother hen charging a fox in protection of her chicks, or a female dog attacking a wolf to prevent harm to her pups. Feel what they would feel. Be them. All females lose fear in protection of their young. This is the purest operation of agape. Agape is the love of the Creator for his creation. Imagine God looking down on mankind and the world he created. What God feels is agape. Agape is a love that flows from knowing you are responsible for bringing another into existence. God's eye view is a way of practicing agape by adopting a view of life that is more akin to God's. And we're going to get into that later on in the show. To be utilized most effectively, agape must be understood, accepted, and practiced. These are the affirmations of the trivalent understanding noetics. They are used daily to protect and increase your body, mind, spiritual functioning in a world intent on making you feel the most hate, shame, and fear that you can. They are to be practiced so that they automatically counteract the feelings of hate, fear, and shame whenever they are encountered. In order for this to occur, you can't just say the words of the affirmation. You must feel the emotions connected to the words. And you must see these images connected to those emotions. You must feel filial love when you affirm against hate. Feel what you feel for a close relative or friend. You must feel faith in the unseen and unmerited favor when guilt or shame is neutralized. You must feel agape as a mother or creator when fear is attacked. If these dictates are followed daily, then the positive patterns practiced will become automatic, and they will counter the negative life stresses inherent in living in today's society. This is the world we live in. The result will be a better balanced, more cohesive individual with more focus, less worry, and more ability to cope, not just with the ordinary, but with the extraordinary components of this brand new life. In closing, I wish you trivalent living and a trivalent life.
Yes. Want to give a shout out to KK. She shared.
Yeah!
And Michelle, Shelly K.
Shelly
came
K.
on. She says hello. Wanted to call in, but don't see the number. Mick has fixed that for her. She wants to discuss.
Right.
She said that she had burned. She burnt her finger the other day, which she talked to you about it.
Right.
And it had started blistering, and she put some ice on it and then
Vectored
it.
Uh-huh.
Great. And she said it healed in a matter of hours.
Hours. I told you,
Great.
vectoring takes 133 seconds to totally change how you are functioning.
Yes, yes.
Understanding this is essential to being meta.
Yes.
Meta is better. And when you have been through all 3 levels of the Trivalent Understanding Noetics classes, you are graduated as meta.
Just in case you can't see the number, it's 602-610-2060, and the extension is...
Ooh.
It's a
I'm
sheet of
932.
paper.
4932?
Move your paper for a minute and see if we can see it. It's strange. It's a strange request, but no, move all.
There it is.
754932.
754932. That's it. Okay.
754932.
That's it. All righty. We are through with affirmations of the wounded soul. It's supposed to be used as a habit. Twice a day to start off, and after you've been doing it for about 5 or 6 years, you can go to a day. Now, I need to ask a question of my listeners. What is the hardest thing for a human being to do? I'll give you time. Okay, that's good enough. The hardest thing for a human being to do, believe it or not, is to break a habit, because habits are subconscious. They're habits because you don't think about them. It's very difficult to change what you don't think about. That's why I have tried very, very diligently to turn all of the cures or treatments for everything that we're trying to attack into habits. Good habits. You got some habits right now that are not good. They're rather bad, and you don't realize it at all. I often tell people about brushing their teeth. You brush your teeth, right? And you use a toothpaste, right? You take the toothpaste and put it on the toothbrush, right? Then you brush your teeth. Okay, after you brush your teeth, what do? Most people, almost everybody said, you rinse your mouth and spit out the toothpaste. That's not very wise. Because toothpaste works as long as you have it in contact with your teeth. The longer you have it in contact with your teeth, the better it works.
I bear witness to it.
So my answer for that particular habit is brush your teeth. Put the toothpaste on the tooth. Brush your teeth. Put your toothpaste down. Put the toothbrush down. Now wash your face. Wash up under the arm. Do something else. Comb your hair. And let the toothpaste work. Okay? Then rinse it off. You will find out that your toothpaste works a hell of a lot better when you use it a hell of a lot better. You have the same problems in taking a bath or shower. You have the same problems in just washing your face. Speaking of which, how many of you like your face? Come on now, tell the truth. How many of you actually like your face? And David Apia Owusu says this question is very deep.
That was the one you asked before. That's what
About what's the hardest thing for a human being to do. Yeah, it is. Break a habit. How many of you like your face? How many of you have exercised your face in the last, 5 years? How often have you exercised your face in the last 2 years? The answer is probably never. This is what I'm talking about, exercising your face muscles. like you do your rest of your body. This leads to another of gravity's mean tricks as it pulls down the muscles of your face, giving you a saggy chin, neck, cheeks with bags under your eyes and wrinkles around your lips and cheeks. Bipedal locomotion. That is the slide that I'm looking for. Slide number.
Well, I was hoping number 6 would come up. Time augmented reality we live in.
Okay.
But if you want
Either one.
number 6,
I ain't got no
let's
problem
imagine
with either
that.
one.
Okay.
Changes in locomotion. This is how we ambulate. Bipedal locomotion. It makes gravity our enemy and causes problems with your circulation, with your nervous system, with your face especially. Okay. Now, could I shoot a shot of me, please? I need my close-up shot. That's the one. Now, look at my face. Do you notice any wrinkles, any sags, any chins? Okay. Now, I didn't start doing face up until I was in my late 50s, early 60s. And I cannot tell you how many times I have been told, you don't look 75. Yeah. I don't. But one of the reasons I don't is because the exercises I do every time I look in the mirror. That's my habit. I wonder what I would look like if I started doing it when I was in my 30s or 40s. As you have more time used in this reality, gravity pulls loose muscle tissues down. Don't believe me? Look at your tricep muscle. That's this muscle right here. It's normally wiggly like that and you wiggle. Okay, notice mine don't wiggle. No. But most people above 50, it's just slopping in the bleeds. Again, if you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't exercise it, gravity's going to take it from you. And gravity's been taking a whole lot of people's faces. Okay. The musculature of your face has the same potential fate as that tricep muscle. And we unconsciously judge a person's
Slide 10.
age by the condition of those facial muscles. We look at somebody's face and look at how the muscles have sagged, how gravity has taken effect, and we judge their age.
Slide
Now,
10. Imagine that.
If I didn't have all of this white, how old would my face be? These are the muscles that we exercise in a
Face up exercise.
no.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we'll forget it then.
That's where you are.
I know exactly where I am. I was looking for a word that I can find, so it don't make no difference. These are the tools of the trivalent understanding noetics. And face up is the name of the tool for your face. Face up is composed of a series of exercises that are again composed of 3 separate formats. A physical exercise for the muscles group by group, and that's why we have the slide with all the muscle groups on there. Right. Group by group, we have different exercises for each group. An affirmation for each group based on trivalent living for your mind, and an image of an affirming, enabling visualization for your spirit. Make this more than a daily routine by doing several face-up exercises every time you look into a mirror, a minimum of 2 times a day. Okie dokie. Last one we got to go through is called God's Eye View. And we mentioned this earlier in the song, This is the World We Live In. You need to see you as God sees you, not as you see you. We are caught in a self-obsessed, egotistical world in which we are taught to see ourselves as others, friends, families, cultures, sees you. That is limiting, and biased by fears, regrets, and all the other humanistic actions of individual beings. Being human is being limited, and I would suggest the view above the level of individual humanity would offer a more enabling and realistic view of any object observed.
You could remove this view.
Now, we got a song about a non-human view. It's not humanistic, but actually anti-human. It's about having no faith, no trust, no empathy, and no concern about anybody else who's having problems. Believe it or not, this was done by a pink-looking guy that called himself Rag and Bone Man. No, I think he is an Alkebulanese hybrid with high yellow, like my father's mother, who looked pink to every examination. But what he talks about is being what we call humanal. And we got an arrangement of that song with Shelly Kay doing the lead and the Hip Hop Trio Plus as the background. Peek out, humanal.
Maybe I'm foolish, maybe I'm blind, thinking I can see through this, see what's behind. Got no way to prove it, so maybe I'm lying. But I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. Take a look in the mirror, and what do you see? Do you see it clearer, or are you deceived by what you believe? I'm only human after all, and you're only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. Some people got the real problem. Some people out of love. Some people think I can solve it. Lord heavens above. I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. Don't ask my opinion. Don't ask me to lie. Then beg for forgiveness for making you cry. For making you cry. I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Put your blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. Oh, some people got the real problem. Some people out of love. Some people think I can solve it. Lord heavens above. I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. I'm only human, make mistakes. I'm only human, it's all it takes to put the blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. Cause I'm no prophet or Messiah. I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. I'm only human, do what I can. I'm a woman, do what I can. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. What difference does being human make? It means hate comes easier. Fear, guilt, and shame are a whole lot more within reach. If you did not see yourself as a human being, but instead used God's eye view and saw yourself not as a person, not as a sex, not as an individual, but as life, would your opinion of you change? What difference is a snail to a snail? How about that same evaluation to a hungry bird? He has a totally different evaluation of that snail. How about the opinion of the God of snails? If they have one, I guarantee its evaluation of every individual snail is higher than the snails. And that's exactly what the problem is. Our own evaluation of our thoughts, emotions, and actions always come with a distinct disabling component. We talk about that when we do another song called The Grapes of Wrath that we're not going to do right now. Our tools teach you a habit that removes your own feelings, thoughts, and opinions out of the way, so that your higher powers view, who or whatever that higher power may be, is seen unmarked by our own fears, opinions, or biased thoughts. Isaiah 55, 8-9 states, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, my ways are not your ways." This is God talking to humanity. It is true, and it's a truth we need to utilize to experience something above simply being human. Today we will discuss meditation, and I'm not talking about listening to songs or gongs or others saying nice things. I'm not talking about focusing on a candle or clearing your mind. I'm discussing transcendental meditation as introduced by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi in 1969. Now, quickly, I'm finishing with nursing school. I have finished nursing school. I'm working in the emergency room on 11 to 7. But I'm under the misconception that in order to go to medical school, you need a bachelor's degree. You really don't. You just need credits and the hours that they require. But I didn't understand that. So I'm thinking I need to go to college, and I want to get a degree in biology and another one in psychology. I want a double major. And I'm thinking I'm going to need a whole lot more energy and focus than I have now. So I get off from work one morning and I go over and clean my car out, and I pull out this newspaper from Granite City. No, not Granite City. It was from Clayton, Missouri, a suburb of St. Louis. And it talked about transcendental meditation. More focus, more energy. I said, wow, that's exactly what I need, exactly what I'm looking for. To make this long story very short, I went out to a lecture in which these people were giving you the basis of transcendental meditation. I learned to meditate transcendentally. I took off like a rocket. My first meditation, I don't think I slept for 2 days after my first meditation. And within a month, I was out at Webster College, it's now Webster University, applying for school. I'm in line, and I'm there because Webster has a huge arts program. Um, they have Conrad Hilton, Paris Hilton's grandfather, who set up a performance theater out there. It's called the Loretto Hilton Repertoire Theater. And people from New York and LA come out there every year to see what plays are being put on at that theater. Since I'm a musician, most of my friends wanted to go to Webster. I did too, but not as a musician. I wanted to go there for my biology and psychology. So I'm in line, and the biology and psychology line's only got about 8 people in it. The line for arts stretches all the way down the street, around the corner, and down the building. And I'm grinning because all my friends are over and I'm waving and talking and stuff. And I get to the guy in front of me. He sits down, and I know I'm next. And just as that happens, this little short, golden-skinned guy come over with a white beard, short, a little longer than mine, but short white beard. He came over and talked to the woman who was interviewing me, and she nodded her head and did like that, and then he walked away. And she went on and interviewed the guy in front of me. They finished their interview. He stood up. They shook hands. He turned and walked away, and so did she. I said, wait a minute. What's going on here? The golden-skinned guy came back over and said, have a seat, sir. I'll take care of you. And he did start to interview me about what I wanted to do and how I wished to do it and all of this other stuff. And I'm telling him about all my dreams. And I want to double major in biology and psychology. He said, that's a lot of work. And you're an RN right now? I thought I saw you on television. You work in the emergency room. I'm on television. Homer G. Phillips Hospital emergency room, where I worked with one of the busiest emergency rooms in the nation. And it was often the scene of police and newsworthy exploits. And I was on television quite a bit since I worked 11 to 7, and that's when most of the stuff happens, 11 to 7. I said, yeah, I thought, it would take a lot of energy and so forth and so on too, more than I had. So I went and learned transcendental meditation about 2 weeks ago. And as soon as I said that, he said, you did, huh? And sat up in his chair. He said, did they give you a mantra? I said, yeah, they sure did. A mantra is a word or phrase that is given to you to allow your mind to go from conscious into your unconscious. It's a word that has no meaning for you. So it can't have any meaning for you, or it'll go to that meaning instead of degrading your consciousness into your unconscious. It's usually in a foreign language, and it's usually given to you by someone who you are not familiar with and don't know, so that that word is never associated with them. It is used as a tool to allow your mind to degrade from your conscious mind into your unconscious mind by thinking this mantra softer and softer and softer and softer until you are only thinking the idea of the mantra. That's when you're in your unconscious. You should never say your mantra out loud at any time, and you should never tell anybody what it is, because as soon as you do either of those things, now this word is associated with that circumstance and condition that you just used it in, and it's as less valuable as a meditation tool. But when he asked me if I'd been given a mantra, and I told him yes, he said, let me see your card. And I had a little white card that had all my basic information on it. He took the card, turned it over in the back, wrote, and then passed the card to me. I picked the card. Ah! This is my mantra! How does this guy know my mantra? When Maharishi Mahesh Yogi came to this country and introduced transcendental meditation, our government was very leery about this. And they sent 5 different experts to study transcendental meditation. One of the experts they chose to study was the head of the physics department at Washington University in St. Louis. What I didn't know is that this guy who was head of the physics department at Washington University was head of the whole science department at Webster, and I was sitting here with him, Dr. Alexander Calandra. He became my mentor. He became my advisor. He chose all my courses that I took. He wrote me a letter of recommendation to medical school, and he did all the initial research on transcendental meditation. And he and I did at least 2 research papers together on transcendental meditation. And you will see Dr. A. Calandra, and that's what he used, and L.C. Woods, RN. We did some rather unique things, and I teach some rather unique things when I teach transcendental meditation to students. Okay, believe it or not, we are past due by 6 minutes, and I thought it was necessary. So, we must now wish you peace. Which stands for proper education always corrects error. Peace, y'all.
Oh, you made it to the end of the video. Well, I am tired a little bit differently. I'm dressed as Baba Amwa. If you would like more of your own understanding, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And go to the sites that we have listed around us. The Most High is good.
And the ancestors are kind.
Thanks
for having us on your minds.
Peace.